G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is Miniguns Rebirth. Yeah, better late than never, but I'm here now, so no use complaining. So, this weapon mod gives you 3 standalone miniguns in the form of this personal minigun firing the 5mm rifle rounds, which are an exclusive ammo type to this mod. My guess as to why it's like this instead of using the vanilla game 5mm is just to make it fire a different cartridge to your standard minigun while still being slightly different. Then you've got the Avenger minigun here. This one is chambered in the 5.56, so we're firing intermediate rifle cartridges with this thing, which would make it a fair bit powerful. You'll also notice how we're getting 1200 DPS without even touching this thing to start off with, so I think these things are going to have the power. And lastly, we've got the Vindicator minigun, which is chambered in 308 rounds, full-powered rifle rounds, so this thing is going to absolutely shred with almost 2000 DPS before we've examined its customization options. Now, these things all use custom sounds, so it's going to sound a little bit different, but they use the standard vanilla game minigun reload animations, which are perfectly suited to a giant weapon like this. In first person, most of that reload happens off camera anyway, so you won't notice it. And in third person, well, you're not worried about your reload animation because you've got more things to shoot at. Eyes on the prize. The customization options for all of these miniguns are very similar to each other, so I'll go through the personal minigun and then we'll quickly go through the Avenger and the Vindicator. So first of all, with the personal minigun, we get to change the motor. So we've got a standard motor, or we could LS swap it to remove the fire spin-up delay, which, mind you, is a stupidly strong customization option because eliminating that barrel spin-up pretty much eliminates the greatest flaw when it comes to using rotary barrel weapons. So yeah, we'll definitely throw the LS in it and we'll move over to the next one. So now we've got the barrels. You can have standard barrels, shrouded barrels, compensated barrels, and at last, the advanced barrels. Now we're going for DPS on these things, so definitely go for the advanced barrel here, but I'll quickly go over the other barrels just so you can see them. So in this case, it's just standard barrels and then tri-barrels to go along with that. The tri-barrels will give you slightly more range at the cost of DPS and fire rate, similar to that of the vanilla gun tri-barrel in the vanilla game. Next, you've got the ammo drum. You can expand that for double the capacity. Makes your weapon heavier, requires these perks, and that's pretty much it for that one. Next, we've got the sights. You can have no sights as we see right now. Standard sights, which will add some sort of weird gunner sight that you'd see on the vanilla game minigun. There's also options for reflex sights, and there's options for sights mixed with shields and also large shields. Obviously, having these large shields, yes, they'll protect you, but they'll make the minigun weigh a lot more. So, you know, if you've got a carry capacity issue, you can alleviate a lot of that by removing that entirely if you feel like it. But I think it looks kind of cool with that big old blast shield on the front. So we'll do that with a reflex sight, and we've got a legendary effect provided by legendary modification. If we go to explosive, I believe that double dips, and look at the DPS change when we throw the explosive on. Crazy. Next, we've got the damage slider. This one's just an extraneous slider, so we won't touch that one. We'll just leave that at standard. And now we've got the rounds. So we've got the jacketed soft point rounds that'll give you plus 10% damage, and the FMJ will give you slight armor piercing. Hollow point gives you plus 20% damage. You'll notice as we go further down, the requirements for the heavy gunner perk go further. AP rounds gives you 40%. AP incendiary gives you fire damage and also a little bit of extra armor penetration on top of that. And depleted uranium rounds, which will give you an armor piercing factor of 90%. Now we're only hitting for 30 damage with this thing. I feel like that's a pretty good idea, so we can punch through as much armor as possible to try to hold on to as much damage as we can with the personal minigun. And of course, you've got some materials. Now, this is really cool because they do sort of follow the Creation Club sort of paint scheme with these things, but it's a little bit different. So you got a bunch of different factions here: Atom Cats, Brotherhood, Enclave, Gunners, Hot Rod Flames, Hot Rod Pink, and there's also Institute as well. I quite like the Institute paints on miniguns and other advanced weaponry. Minuteman, Vault-Tec, and that's pretty much it. So what we'll do with this one is, let's throw Enclave paint on. It gives me a nice matte black paint, and then I guess it's not really matte, is it? It's kind of shiny, but we've got the Enclave emblem on it, which looks kind of sweet. Alright, that's it for the personal minigun. Enter the Avenger minigun. So again, we'll throw the LS in this thing and we'll go over to the barrels. You have standard short barrel, a long barrel as well, long tri barrel, shrouded stuff as well, which I really kind of like the look of the shroud on miniguns like that, but unfortunately it's not the best for performance, so we'll keep on scrolling down. We've reached compensated now. And then there's advanced down here, which the advanced long barrel gives us 1400 DPS, which is very, very nice indeed. So we'll put that one on. That's what it looks like. I think all the barrels are gonna look a little bit samey with this approach, but honestly, we're going for maximum performance. You also notice how we get extra range and a little bit of accuracy out of that too, which is icing on the cake. Big drum magazine attached, and this time we'll go for a small shield with an iron sight, which looks like that from the front. And next we've got a legendary effect and damage slider. Skip over those. The rounds we'll put in this one will be the AP incendiary ones, and we'll find a material to match. So we need something with flames, either hot rod flames, which look kind of good, or perhaps Atom Cat paint. I kind of like the flames better on the Atom Cat thing, so we'll throw that one on the fireball. It's also got that at the front, which is kind of cool. There's also got these iron sights on it, which look like that instead of this standard gunner sight for your miniguns, which I'm not really sure what you're going to line that up with, but I'm sure we'll figure that out as we go along. And lastly, we've got the Vindicator minigun. Advanced motor goes in that one, and now we can look over the barrels, which if the barrels, they get kind of long, so you won't be able to see them as much, but the standard, shrouded again, and then compensated ones, which look like that. And of course we go to the advanced ones, and it looks like the advanced long barrel gives us 2100. And how much range do we lose? Because this one actually gives us better DPS, and with a range like that, we're probably not missing out on too much. With this thing's vast recoil, I don't think we'll have to worry about firing this thing over range that much at all, so we'll just do the advanced short barrel on this one and expand that drum for ammo capacity. This time we'll just go for a standard reflex sight, because a minigun like this, we don't need protection. We're throwing that much lead down range that we won't even bother with it. Now for these rounds, what I think I'll do is we'll go for hollow point to increase our damage even further, because our base damage is higher, so that should boost our DPS by a huge amount. Yep, 2500, very good. And lastly, I've been saving the shark mouth paint for this one to give us that Gowade Avenger feel. There it is. Yeah, there you go. It's like an A10 Warthog, but without wings, man. Okay, is that it? I think it is. Let's shoot stuff. I'll show you how to get them first, though. Well, first of all, the way to get the 5mm rifle rounds is to produce them out of 5mm rounds, which I feel like you could just cut out the middleman and just use the 5mm rounds instead, but yeah, that's truly baffling. But you'll also find a Miniguns Rebirth install holotape here. This is under Miniguns Rebirth on your chemistry workbench, by the way. You can make the holotape, and then it allows you to tweak the settings. So here we are in the Miniguns Rebirth holotape, and if you're having trouble finding it yourself, it starts off with a square bracket, so scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll find it. This allows you to activate leveled injection, and you can also spawn the weapons if you feel like. Yep, it just spawns them in your inventory. So if you want to cheat and get them, then this is a really easy way to do it. So I'm here at Cleo's. We've managed to find a Vindicator minigun. They spawn at level 20. The personal minigun, that one starts spawning at level 1, which is kind of crazy. And the Avenger minigun, that starts spawning at level 10. You'll also be able to recover these miniguns from your fallen enemies, so if you see a raider or something walking around with a minigun, shoot them and the minigun can be yours. But in addition to that, there's also 3 world drops, 1 for each minigun that you might find out in the Commonwealth. I'm going to show you where they are on the map. I don't need to hold your hand through this. You're smart enough to be watching me. You're smart enough to be finding these miniguns for yourself. So here are the pointers. So, on top of the Museum of Freedom, where the crashed vertibird is, you'll find a personal minigun. Go a little bit further south, you go to this place during reunions. Fort Hagen, you'll find it on the ground floor in a secure spot. You might have to get to the end of Act 1 to actually access that thing, but that's not it. Lastly, you've got the Vindicator minigun on the precisely other side of the map. There you go, in Fort Strong. Now, you go here with the Brotherhood of Steel for show no mercy, but I'm pretty sure you can just walk in the front doors, even if the Pridwin hasn't even arrived yet. But that's a little bit harder to get. You got to fight through a lot of super mutants and such to get down there, so probably worth waiting a little bit of extra time, or at least get to level 20 first before you even get there. And you might even find a minigun of the same caliber before you even get to 4 strong. So yeah, with the levels set as they are, they're pretty easy to get. So the only one you really want to find is this Museum of Freedom one, the personal minigun. The rest, by the time you get down here, you'll be past level 10. So it's just kind of eh. If they upped the level cap to where you actually start to be able to see the other miniguns, then it might be worth actually going down there and traveling. But honestly, get to level 20 super fast and then pick it off a corpse. Okay, we're finally here. It's time to shoot stuff. Here is the personal minigun that I crafted in first person and all of its cool reflex light. There's a little bit of heat glare coming off the barrel already. I was shooting it earlier, you understand, so the barrels are hot and ready to go. Here is Avenger minigun with that small shield and funky iron sights in first person. And here is big Vindicator minigun. I've also got this one, which has got Institute paint on it. By the way, meet... Oh, wait, no, you've already met her. Somewhere else, though. A place a long, long way away from here. Ain't that a kick in the head. Anyways, so I think we're about ready to start blasting, so we'll bring out our biggest, baddest minigun yet, and then we'll see what we can do. Huh, they're attacking a mosquito. Well, that's a little bit of a shame, because we're going to start shooting them. Wow, he got wrecked. Yeah, he was completely perma-staggered there. Stealth minigunning here? Yeah, we can do that. We kind of have to microburst this. Wait, we could just slow down time, right? How's the AP usage? I couldn't see Grim Reaper's sprint before I could have a glance. Okay. We're not sneaking anymore. Would you believe this is not the most stealthy weapon in the world? But we've got a gun foo streak running here. We can't really make much use of it, but we'll see how we go. Grim Reaper sprint again. Like, honestly, the stealth thing is, like, it's so over. We just get nice and close and see what we can do. That's something I kind of didn't consider. Yes, it's great to have the no spin up at all, but it allows you to save AP in VAFs because, well, you don't have to spend time or AP bleeding, spinning up the barrel, which means you can absolutely cheese it. Can I do this without entering VAFs or exiting VAFs once? I feel like we're kind of flattering here, so let's go over to the personal minigun. You guys have got to start tanking it up here. Yes, despite hitting them for 17 damage, the fact that we're hitting them so bloody fast means that we're just kind of shredding them anyway. Sure, the ammo expenditure is going to be massive, but it's a minigun. What do you expect? Ammo efficiency is not on the feature list for a minigun. The minigun's purpose is getting as much lead down range as possible in the shortest time possible. That's why they put it on the big planes. Okay, that's enough from personal minigun. We get the idea. Let's up the heat a little bit. Ooh, I do like the sound of a 5.56 minigun. That'll do the job. So, yeah, it's fortunate that we haven't had any enemies spawn with this thing because I feel like it would absolutely shred me. I've seen it shred other players quite easily, in fact. So, yeah, we've sort of dodged that one today. But we're strong anyway, so I don't think that'll be too much of a problem with us. Alright, let's go over to Avenger minigun. This one. Oh, yeah. I believe I've got the depleted uranium rounds in this thing, so not only are we hitting them much harder than the Avenger, but that's going through armor a lot faster. It's kind of weird. Like, this thing doesn't feel like a slow, heavy weapon at all. I mean, I'm not like a less maneuverable. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be. It's not a giant lumbering weapon like you'd expect. Like it's not clumsy like a vanilla minigun. It's because that barrel spin up is gone. It just feels so good to use, which is fine because, like, in miniguns in real life, I think the ones that they mount on the choppers, there's the barrel spin up so fast that the power source is there to keep them spinning up, you know, perfectly reasonable. Like, there's none of this barrel spin up that you'd see for balancing reasons in a vanilla game that exists in real life for these advanced miniguns, but I'm guessing it's because the power source is different. It's just powered by sheer will. Anyway, so that's it for the miniguns here. We kind of cleaned house, so We'll swap the magazines and all of these, and then we'll go over to the thing. By the way, this outfit is actually from New Vegas. It was ported by a guy on Patreon called Snake, and he's just made it up. I've changed the outfit, though, just in the top and the bottoms there, because honestly, Nina's color is orange, so we needed something black, gothic, if you will, kind of. You also got the faction things there, Ranger and NCR. I've got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. Okay, I've cranked the sound up a little bit. I had it adjusted because the broadside that I used was deafening. So enjoy the sounds of a Vindicator minigun. Absolutely shredded. Okay, let's do that again, but with a different minigun. Okay, I'm gonna resist the urge to VAFs this time. I swear he was completely red just now, just because of all the blood that was spurting from him. And some double taps as well, why not? Okay, that was fun. Okay, one more time. Time for a good old-fashioned light show, wouldn't you think, Mr. Lobster? If you come into this video expecting brrrt, then I hope you are satisfied, because I sure as hell am. Okay, one more thing. You didn't think I'd go through all of this video without putting explosive on a Vindicator minigun, would you? Look at those bears. Where'd they go? Who knows? You know, the best thing about having a DPS and damage like that is you actually save a lot of throw weights with that approach. Look at those bears. Man, I hope the NCR folk back home don't realize I've just killed a bunch of bears. That might be bad because, you know, they follow the symbol of the bear and I've just slaughtered it. But wait, there's more. Welcome to the bonus round. With many miniguns and showering damage numbers. Rip Mr. Ghoul, he didn't get a proper introduction. What's he gonna do? You gonna get a cheap shot in? Yeah, they wouldn't let him get away with that one. But he's only a small fry. The real scary one lives just over this ridge. I'll get his attention. Alright, here we go. Everyone's armed with miniguns. Look at those numbers shower off. Fallout 4. The script extender must hate me right now. Did anyone get bitten? Yes, Carla did. Good job. Okay, one last fight, a grand finale. It's us against 5 gigantic Lovecraftian monsters, and check this out. One of them's drawn forward. So, yeah, we've chopped that one right away. Now in comes the cavalry. Everyone has concentrated their fire on the closest ones. They're actually getting through them pretty well. But now, as they get closer, this is where it starts to go wrong, because we've got 6 down already after all that. Oh, Lily's throwing her turrets around. That's helpful. Hopefully they can't even reach it. But yeah, so they decided instead of running away that they're going to run up at point blank range and look, we haven't set up a good crossfire thing. If anything, we're going to remove each other's limbs by being in such close proximity, but Wow, the job is done, and that was a pretty smooth run there. Actually, no, I lied. The job isn't done. I think... Is there someone reviving, or... No, we're good. We got this. I think someone is actually reviving, but this stage, I think we've got him on the ropes. And since they're distracted on me, I'll just stand over here and see what happens. Yeah, they are totally, just completely transfixed. And whilst that was being done, we were getting the revive train going, and well, okay, that worked pretty well, and everyone's regenerating their health slowly. This display never comes up, but wow, it actually is working today, so isn't that nice? Alright, so I think you get the point. That there was Miniguns Rebirth, a day late and a dollar short, arguably, but we made it in the end, and I'm kind of kicking myself for missing out on this mod for this time, because it's an incredibly high quality weapon mod. The animations, yeah, I mean, they've been slightly altered, I think. War Daddy did them, but it's barely noticeable. But the models and the textures are just sublime. Balance-wise, I think this kind of overdoes it, but it's hard to balance miniguns, because if you put them too low like they are in the vanilla game, then it's completely lame, and you don't want to go around using miniguns that are lame. Like, yeah, that's the reason, or one of the big drawbacks of... Righto, Nina. One of the big drawbacks of the fact that we got that minigun so early is it's just totally terrible by like level 10. So it's nice that we finally get some good endgame solutions for your rotary barrel ballistic weaponry, but yeah, maybe you could argue that it overdoes it slightly, because some of the kills we were getting there too strong. That is not to say that other weapon mods, including like rifle or sniper types, have been equally as overpowered, but this is going beyond it. Although you could argue that some of the balancing might be the fact that if you're playing on survival and you'd be on a limited ammo supply and your carry weight is more limited, so you probably won't be able to get away with using a minigun like this unless you've done something to up your strength or have gone for a full-on strength build. But I think you get the idea. So if you want to see this weapon in your game, check out link in the description. This mod's been out for yonk, so of course you'll find an Xbox link down there as well. So if you're interested, go and download it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Notice how she's smirking. By the way, I haven't told her name yet. Does anyone know her name? I think I've revealed that before, but I'm going to see if anyone knows that lore, that deep Captainoob lore. If you can tell me her name, I'll give you a free pizza or I'll send it in the mail. And with that, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, guys.